The bar at Baker's is a piece of art on its own. It's a piano painted with a keyboard motif. They also have beautiful style paintings all around the place. Our next artist is internationally known for his music-inspired paintings, as he creates iconic posters for rock groups. Here is Mark Aminski.
I've been working in and around Detroit for nearly 35 years. I produced 500 posters, if not more, for different bands, venues, concerts, events, just about anything that seems to be going on. I've always been a huge Patti Smith fan. And when Fred Smith, her husband, passed away, she kind of got out and started playing again. So I did her first poster when she played at the Ark in Ann Arbor. And then from that, I did a few merchandise pieces for her. Her tour manager, who I got to be good friends with, asked me if I'd be interested in coming to Europe with them. So I was kind of on the fence about it, because I just didn't want to be in the way. You know, I know what touring's kind of like. I didn't want to get in her way. But a good friend of mine out in California said, well, you know, in 20 years, what are you going to remember? The reason that you did go to Europe with Patti Smith Band, or the reason that you didn't go? So that kind of prompted me into going. So I went to Europe with them and did 5 dates with them. I think Slovenia, Austria, Germany. I can't remember. I have pictures of all this stuff, but it was so Patti Smith stuff was always kind of important to me. And then I did her closing show at CBGB's. She was the last person to play at CBGB's the night they closed. So I did a poster for that event. The amount of money that I was paid to do a poster would not even begin to cover the silk screening process. I mean, there's ink involved, there's labor, paper. So I had to figure out a way to make it pay for itself. So, and early on, the bands would flip a little bit of money, the promoter would flip a little bit of money. So ultimately I ended up having to sell posters. And I think I just got lucky timing because they started gaining popularity, and there were maybe 4 or 5 people around the country that were doing them. And so I was able to, you know, with each poster I did, I saw a little profit. When I'm making a poster for somebody is, well, let me preface that by saying one of the nice things about doing the concert posters was I had 98% total control and freedom to do what I wanted to do. I kind of knew what my boundaries were, and I would just be real careful about, you know, that I was going to do something good. If we did a big poster, the record stores wouldn't put them in a window, say 18 by 24 or bigger, because they said it would take up too much window space and cover up other stuff. So I kind of standardized the size to fit, so I could fit 2 posters and handbills to a sheet. So all of a sudden my printing costs were cut in half. I'm getting 2 posters for the price of 1. And I made them that size so they could go on telephone poles and stuff like that. Now, a lot of cities have ordinances against that stuff. So they didn't, but they were small enough that the stores could put them and use them in the window and use them for what the intent was to advertise. I think my mentors in the arts or influences or support really comes from my mom. I mean, when I was a little kid, she would take me to the DIA. She'd take all my brothers and sisters. I was the only one that kind of gravitated towards the arts, but I remember that. We'd go every Saturday, and they'd have workshops for kids that we would do. Well, before I started doing posters, I was painting. The posters just kind of started out as a creative outlet, and I had no idea where it was going, and it lasted nearly 20 years. So I think because of the changes in the whole industry and the reasons people do posters, I just kind of burned out on them. I got tired, and so I started painting again. And I've always painted a little bit throughout that process, but not, you know, when I was doing the posters, I would, whether consciously or subconsciously, be aware of that I can't do anything offensive to the band. The public is gonna see this stuff, so I've got to keep within certain guidelines that I impose myself. But with the paintings, I can do. If nobody likes my paintings, I don't care. If they love them, you know, I don't care. It's what I like to do. So I'd been painting these really large paintings, but technically they weren't right. So I started looking around my studio, and I've got all this stuff lying around here. So I started actually setting up these still lifes and lighting them and taking photographs of them, and that's what I've been painting. It's forcing me to look at, and I try to put metal, glass, plastic, different surfaces in there. And there's kind of a theme to some of them. There's always like either some kind of gun or drug related or just something different involved. So a buddy of mine calls them punk rock still lifes. I mean, I never owned Lamborghinis but you know, I paid my bills.
And that wraps it up for this edition of Detroit Performs. As always, for more arts and culture, head to DetroitPerforms.org, where you'll find featured videos, blogs, and information on upcoming arts events. Also, check us out on Facebook and Twitter. A big thank you to Baker's Keyboard Lounge for allowing us to come in here. Now, you can come in here at any time in the afternoon or evening. Until next Tuesday, get out there and show the world how Detroit performs, y'all. I'm DJ Oliver. Thanks for watching, guys.